What's going on, guys? It's Joe 672 coming out of it right now. So the Philadelphia Eagles have made a trade today. Howie Roseman working the phones, doing his magic. The Philadelphia Eagles traded undrafted left tackle Ryan Bates to the Buffalo Bills in exchange for defensive end Eli Harold, 6'3", 243 pounds. A former third round pick, 79, 78th overall in the 2015 draft. Drafted by the 49ers, had played outside linebacker for the 49ers till 2017, and then went to the Lions. In 2018. Had 4 sacks, was released and then acquired by the Buffalo Bills in the offseason. Trading Ryan Bates, I was kind of a little surprised at him, but he's the third left tackle on the depth chart right now, okay? Ryan Bates is an undrafted left tackle from Penn State that could play 5 positions pretty much. And the Buffalo Bills are very, very hurt in the trenches right now, so let me read some names off right now for you guys. Bills have Adrian Waddle, Mitch Morse, John Feliciano, and Spencer Long. So they got a lot of injuries on the offensive line right now. They have a guy in Ryan Bates that could play multiple positions. And I thought that, with the depth that we do have, I think we still have a lot of depth. I think this helped because you found out that Jordan Mailata really did a good job, played over 50 snaps in yesterday's game and did pretty good. I think he only screwed up maybe 2 or 3 times, but he manhandled some guys out there, the other night. And Ryan Bates, I thought maybe he would have had a chance, but I guess the Eagles said, you know what, he can go, and that's really it. He could play multiple positions. I think that's where Ryan Bates' value came into this trade. To go get a guy like Eli Harold, okay, 9 sacks his total career. Between, Sharif Miller and Josh Sweat, 2 guys actually had some nice pressure. Josh Sweat did a pretty good job last night. Sharif Miller did a little bit less of a good job, but Josh Sweat did most of a good job. Deshaun Hall, that's just taken over that game with 6 tackles and a sack. You have Brandon Graham, you have Derek Barnett, you have Vinny Curry, and you just signed Kasim Edebali, another a 29-year-old defensive end of that guy that really didn't do too much last night at all. I don't see him making the team, but this guy right here, Eli Harold, looks pretty good. Like I said, I think this helps a lot because Jim Schwartz likes those guys that can play, multiple positions. And this guy can play outside linebacker, plus he can play defensive end. So, if the 49ers, he was on the Chip Kelly team with the 49ers in 2016. He was an outside linebacker. They were in a 3-4. Okay, so, played there. And, the Bills ended up getting him, thinking they would just use him this year, and they didn't. So they traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles, and we acquire another defensive end. I think the Eagles are looking for that depth guy. They're looking for that the 4th and 5th defensive end positions. There's 2 spots, and you know what? We have a lot of guys right now really fighting for those spots right now. Locked in, I could say right now, I can't really say, because I need to see. If I see Deshaun Hall ball out the next 2 weeks, then, yeah, I think Deshaun Hall's making the roster. Same as Josh Sweat, same as Sharif Miller. Sharif Miller will probably be on practice squad if he doesn't produce in the preseason. I'm not saying he can't. I think these guys, I think Sharif, he had a good amount of snaps. Josh Sweat had a lot of snaps. He was pretty much in almost the whole game. You know what I mean? Because I know Derek Barnett's going to do well. Brandon Graham's fine. Vinny Curry is a depth guy. We don't have Chris Long anymore, so we're looking for the 4th and 5th spots right now. And that's where it's going to count the most. Rotational guys. Guys that aren't good at starting and playing a whole entire game because they're not used to it. And some of these guys are not used to playing a whole game like they did. Josh Sweat was not used to that, especially because we didn't play any of our starters. So getting a guy like Eli Harold, he's got a nasty side to him, and he's very aggressive, and he's physical, and he doesn't, I felt like with Josh Sweat the other night, there were times where his motor just ran out, like his legs stopped. He engaged the tackle, and it just seemed like, he couldn't do much. Like he was just engaged, and he just stood there. You know what I mean? But there were times where he did really well, and he did actually more of a good job than the other defensive ends. And I think Sharif Miller was second best that had a good night as well, especially on for that position and on the defensive side of the ball. But getting a guy like Eli Harold, you get more competition, and this guy has experience. He's only 25 years old, guys. 25. That's it. He's a young guy, and it would be nice if you get an Eli Harold on this team. If you can get, it's just say like. You never know, like Deshaun Hall and Eli Harold are the two guys, and maybe Josh Sweat doesn't make it. You never really know, but this is going to be really interesting with these defensive ends. I'm actually really happy of what's going on here. So I'm glad they brought in somebody. When I saw it, I was like, yes, they brought in more competition at defensive end. I was like, thank freaking God. I was like, this is good. Just because, there's no injuries. I was like, did someone get injured that we don't know about? I checked. I didn't see any injuries, so I was happy about that. But I guess they're honing in, and they're just trying to find those fourth and fifth spots for defensive end in the rotation. And bringing in a guy like this that's had plenty of experience, and you know what? He's got a nasty edge to him. So I can't wait to see him play. This coming next week, of course, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that's it. So that is the trade. If you let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. That's it. I'll see you guys later. Shakes what up. Files fly.